I guess we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. It's your first time on the show, so we kind of, for folks listening that may be unfamiliar with you, we'd like to get to know you. So, like, what's your card game resume? Is Hearthstone your first TCG?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I used to play Pokemon. I played Pokemon, but I just kind of bought cards and I would just collect them and look at them. And then,
that was so less playing, more shinies.
yeah. And the same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh. I would just buy packs. I guess I was kind of scummy because I would like weigh the packs and see which ones weighed more. And then I would keep those and I would sell the other ones back to get more money to buy more packs. But I didn't really
you
play
could do
the
in
game.
Yu-Gi-Oh. You could weigh the packs. I wasn't aware of this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, if you get a scale and you can weigh how many grams or whatever, and if it's slightly higher, that means there's probably like aluminum in it and it's a holographic.
Oh my god!
Wow, that is next level.
I did not realize you could do that in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, so I never really played the TCGs. I kind of just collected. Hearthstone is the first one I've actually really started playing, and I played before Nax. And then I never played after Nax came out. And then I stopped playing. I started playing like Counter-Strike and WoW. And then I came back when Ungoro happened. And then I've been playing ever since Ungoro. And that's when I started my content creation career.
Okay.
That was a good time to start. That was like the introduction of Discover. Like that was a good time. That was a good meta.
I love it. I miss it. I still think that's my favorite. That whole year, I think it was Year of the Mammoth. That is fantastic.
I recently got the quest to like play a bunch of massive, I think 7 mana or more minions. So I went to Wild for the first time in a long time and just like played a big druid deck. And I ended up on the Ungoro map and I was like, oh my God, I missed this expansion. I should play Wild more. But then I saw the same combo deck 3 games in a row at rank 25.
Yeah, Wild's fun for a little bit until you run into that.
Yeah.
Everything's just so broken.
It's the power level's a little high. So it's a little high over there, but.
Oh yeah.
So if Wild's not your favorite mode, then where do you actually spend most of your time in Hearthstone? Constructed only, battlegrounds, all over the place. What you doing?
Constructed only right now. I mean, before the expansion came out, I was picking up duels. I actually really liked duels. I was playing it a ton. It kind of made Hearthstone fun again. I don't know. The meta got stale, and then duels came out, and I was playing the crap out of that. And then the new expansion came out, and I wanted to play when there's a new meta. When things aren't solved, that's like the most fun time for me. So I was like, all right, I love duels, but there's a new meta. I want to play standard. Once standard gets solved, then maybe I'll switch back to duels. But I don't really touch battlegrounds or arena, the forgotten game mode.
No, we don't talk about that one here.
Yeah.
I feel bad for arena players, but they probably stopped listening by now. It's truth. It's truth, man. Truth. So, well, that's the vibe. Like I get, following you. Like I said, I mostly watch your stuff on YouTube. So that's definitely a vibe I get over there. And lately it's been a wealth of, it's this deck that I'm too lazy to go figure out how to play on my own. I'm going to watch Dekkster play it and figure it out. So.
Yeah, I'm constantly changing it up. I don't really play good decks per se, like top tier decks. I like doing well with like bad decks or just making bad decks semi-viable.
You say that
that's where I find fun.
Yeah, you put the new Evolve Shaman on my radar, which
well, that was okay. In the beginning of an expansion, I do play like things that I know are going to be good before they become seen as like evil by the masses. So
you're a Hearthstone hipster.
Essentially, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I know Evolve Shaman and Totem Shaman, they seem strong. Like I better play them now, get a video out now before everyone's like, oh, I hate you because you played Shaman, Like the same with Demon Hunter. If I would have played Demon Hunter right off the bat, last expansion, it probably would have been okay. But after a couple days and everyone's just seeing Demon Hunter, they're like, come on, Dekkster, like you're better than this. You're the off meta guy. Don't play Demon Hunter. But yeah, Evolve Shaman, I feel like it's not terribly bad. People don't hate it that much, right? People hate Demon Hunter, I think.
Yeah,
and
I feel
Priest
like
still for some reason.
Well, yeah, that's so. I've been beating the priest drum all year. That's kind of been my public enemy number one. But like, I'll even admit, I barely see them right now. Like,
yeah,
they're probably okay.
Yeah. Also, I'm playing shaman, so they lose every time I see them. So
right. Yeah,
it's not really affecting me. But like, beginning of the year, Ashes came out. I was contending with not particularly enjoying playing Demon Hunter and having to play against it a lot. And then every time I didn't see a Demon Hunter, it was Priest. And I was just like, Priest has been doing the same thing for 2 years. I'm a little bored with it. But
yeah.
But yeah,
that's my main complaint. Yeah, about the expansion. I think is that a lot of the decks feel the same. No real new archetypes. So
yeah, I mean, to me, like Shaman's the standout. Because I haven't really thought about them since last year when they put actual Evolve back in Standard and it became a World Championship defining card.
I was going to say something about that. I was like, Garrett, do you remember the last time we talked about Shaman and it was Evolve Shaman and you were on it for months about how terrible it was?
It
and
was bad.
Shaman's here and they're evolving things and it's so great. Like,
it's been a year.
2019, Garrett wants a word.
It has been 365 days, basically. Okay, I think that's a long enough time to miss something. It's not like priests who have been playing a 2/6 that kills everything I care about for 2 years straight. It's it's been a while.
It feels different. It feels different than the old Evolve Shaman, I think.
Yeah,
that's why a lot of people seem to like this deck, and I think it's fine.
Yeah, that's
the random evolve element is fun. I think.
Yeah, and there's these Demon Hunter lists that are on the same power level, right? And also, I think last time I looked at matchups, like they just eat Shaman's lunch.
They eat everything's lunch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and then also, like I Totem Shaman was my like little side deck last expansion, and so now it has Eyesore, so I'm also pleased as punch with that. But again, much like I'll admit that my priest hate has kind of died off because I'm just not seeing one. I'm like, I think I'm a little more positive on this expansion because a class that I have historically liked, except for Evolve last year, is like good again. And also I was playing Totem Shaman before it was good, so I'm a Hearthstone hipster. And now I'm glad that we have Eyesore to just put it up over the top. So,
have you played? You didn't play Control Shaman last expansion?
Nah, no.
Dang, I guess it wasn't great, but that was a deck I enjoyed a lot.
I got real hooked into Battlegrounds last expansion too, so that I really didn't mess around. I didn't explore a lot with like archetypes or get out of my comfort zone in Standard. I kind of just kept doing Paladin decks, which is my comfort zone, like historically with the game, which no one wants to hear talk about because pure Paladin hasn't really changed much since Ashes either.
Yeah. So. I don't like Paladin. Not right now. I like dual Paladin. I like dual Paladin, and I like the Murloc Paladin, and what else? Not pure, not Libram. Libram. Libram?
I always said Libram.
Jeez.
Libram.
I always say Libram.
Someone yelled at me on Twitter today for pronouncing Boba Fett the way I pronounce it. So,
Do you pronounce it Boba Fett? Well,
apparently that's wrong. I guess it's Boba.
That's weird. Sounds weird.
That is quite wrong. You're definitely wrong on that.
Well, I had the action figure when I was a kid before I saw the movie. So that's what my little 3-year-old brain. That's
Baba. Baba.
So okay. So it's mostly a standard player. So where's your head at? Looking back at the full year. So you don't play too much of Battlegrounds, it sounds like, but if we're looking at the past year, that's kind of what we're looking at. We're basically looking from BlizzCon 2019 till now. How have you enjoyed Hearthstone's kind of evolution? Since
I think it's really good. I mean, I think Battlegrounds is great. I don't play it too much. I was playing it a lot until Ashes came out, but I mostly just switched because my viewership kind of forced me to, because no one would watch me play Battlegrounds, even though I was pretty good, I think. And then, Yeah, it's been doing really well. I think it's brought a lot of people back to Hearthstone. It just hasn't brought them like to standard. It just brings them strictly to battlegrounds. But I guess that's still good for Hearthstone in general. It just feels like a totally different game to me. But I think they did well with that. I think Ashes was not great. I don't think Ashes was a great expansion. I think Scholomance was fantastic. I think that was a really good expansion. That was the most fun I had with Hearthstone, I think, since Year of the Mammoth. And then this expansion, I'm not too hyped about it. I thought it was going to be a lot better because of all the old gods. Like, that's awesome. That's cool. Bring in the old gods. And then everyone's aggro. You can't play old gods. The meta's got 1 or 2 or 3 new decks. And other than that, it's about the same. I think once rotation happens, though, it'll be good. I think it's going to be good to wash out those old archetypes, get rid of Highlander, although no one's really playing Highlander anymore or anything like that, but it'll be nice. And I like duels a lot. I think duels is a fantastic inclusion. And I think Hearthstone has done most things right, aside from that one thing that people are complaining about.
It's okay to say it. You can say its name. Nothing bad will happen to you.
Yeah, I know. Before the show, we were talking. And I'm just like, I don't know how much I want to like focus on it, but like, I absolutely would love to hear your take on it. I know you've probably talked about it in nauseum on your own channels as well. But like, by all means, let's talk about the elephant that refuses to leave the room.
I mean, I have a YouTube video on it. If people do want to check it out, but it's I think Hearthstone just needs to be cheaper. Long story short, it's hard for people to get into Hearthstone. Has a massive barrier to entry. I have friends who want to play and they can't. They fall out. They'll get hyped about it. They'll play one expansion. Oh, this is great. Next expansion comes out and they're like, oh, I don't want to spend another couple $100 just to stay relevant. Another issue is if you fall out from one expansion and you want to come back, or maybe you missed 2 expansions, the barrier to re-entry is also really high because you still have to catch up from all the other sets. And so it's hard to recommend to your friends because it's expensive. Like, people come in my channel, they're like, hey, should I get back into Hearthstone? I'm like, if you can afford it, yeah.
Are you independently wealthy?
yeah. Maybe try something else. I don't know, man. So, but I do like
that's an angle we really haven't focused on too much, I guess, is like trying to get your friends in, kind of like the social game pushing aspect of it. Like, hey man, come play this game with me that I love, like, and come be a part of this. Cause to tie it into like Battlegrounds, it's a year ago now, I had never really experienced anything like that in Hearthstone. Suddenly, like, everyone I knew was checking it out, and we're in the game. All these people that I've never seen try Hearthstone, just because you could play Battlegrounds and be more or less on an even footing without spending a cent. I mean, you spend a little money, you get access to more heroes, but it was wild. And Joce and I have been playing this game since beta, and just really never seen that many people be like, oh damn, I'm gonna go check out Hearthstone. It would have been nice if they could have continued riding that wave of accessibility.
Right. Yeah, I agree. So it seemed like they were going the right direction. And then the Tavern Pass thing, which kind of made the game a little more expensive, making the barrier to entry higher, right? So I think if they just fix that, like, that'd be great. I do like the achievements. I like the map and clicking things to get rewards. Like, that's great. They just need to they need to do something. Double the experience or bring back gold for wins or something, and then I think people would be happy, and I think people would come back.
Yeah. Like it's. I was even talking about it on Twitter this week where I'm like, I'm just kind of like, I'd like to go to the Reddit and see anything else being discussed, but at the same time, I'm not seeing too many absurd demands. I feel like most people are requesting pretty reasonable things. Yeah. Obviously not getting into people who are harassing members of the development team or even streamers for that matter. But like, for the most part, I don't know. I think people are kind of have their head on straight on this topic.
Yeah.
So,
they're being mostly reasonable.
Yes. Yeah. So it's just, and then at the same time, it's just like, I don't know. It's like, I think this is what a lot of content creators in the space are contending with. It's like, I can't just keep talking about this one thing. It's like, I'm still playing the game. I'm still having a good time. Like, like me specifically, I've always been a paid player. So like my experience hasn't really changed that much. I wasn't that dependent on the gold in the first place. So
yeah. Like, I mean, I'm kind of upset about that change, but I still love Hearthstone. I'm still going to keep playing Hearthstone. And hopefully they change that and fix it. Because I mean, if people leave Hearthstone, that means less people are going to watch my content. And that's bad.
Yeah.
I want more viewers, not less viewers. So hopefully they fix it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a thing for sure. But I'm glad you brought up rotation, because I haven't honestly been thinking about it with everything that's been going on.
Yeah, and before we even get to rotation, we still have 35 cards coming out with the mini expansion, which like the conversation has veered way far away from. Like it's being brought up a little bit in terms of cost, but like there's going to be a huge meta shakeup kind of in 6 to 8 weeks, maybe like sometime early 2021. That's pretty crazy.
I'm excited for that. Yeah, they haven't really said anything about it. Right?
No, and I mean, it feels like the expansion was forever ago, but that's just weird timey-wimey 2020 stuff. But it has only been a few weeks, but like it's coming soon-ish, right? Because it's going to be halfway through the expansion cycle. So
I would assume, yeah, that makes sense to come halfway through the expansion cycle. I mean, it's kind of weird. I think historically there's been a patch for the new expansion at least within every 2 weeks of an expansion coming out. And they haven't talked about anything. So this is weird. I'm wondering if they're just not going to patch this time because of the mini set. That's definitely going to shake things up.
Are there any like big, are there any big outliers that you're seeing that you think need nerfing, buffing, patching?
I think just a small patch to Demon Hunter would make things a lot better. I'm not sure.
I'm always down for that. Nerf them into the ground, delete them. I'm down. Do it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Like, I think it might be Twin Slice might be the issue. Even if they just revert Twin Slice back to like 0 mana, like that might be fine. But I think Demon.
Am I tunnel vision with my like rage against Eldrachi Warblades?
No, Eldrachi's pretty annoying. The thing is, there's also like that tokeny aggro Demon Hunter, which doesn't use Eldrachi at all.
That is
so I'm just trying to think of one nerf that can hit both archetypes as opposed to destroying Demon Hunter completely. And I think
that would also be okay.
I would be okay with that, yeah. But I think if they could nerf Eldrachi, I mean, I'd be fine with that. I don't play Demon Hunter. I've played.
Didn't they nerf it once already?
Yeah,
it used to cost 0 mana. Now it costs 1.
Yeah,
it was 0 mana.
2 attack now, right? And it used to be 1 attack.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Sorry. Yeah. So they increased the cost, but they also increased the attack.
Right. So it's kind of a buff because you could also get it from Wand Maker and Cobalt Spellkin.
We got both Ridiculous Hat and Jonathan Vigil talking DH smack in the chat room.
I gotta open the chat. I love those guys. But yeah, just getting rid of Demon Hunter I think would be good, because I think Demon Hunter suppresses like the innovative decks. You can't play a slow deck. You can't play a fun deck or a meme deck because you're gonna die to Demon Hunter in 5 turns. But I also think
you can die to Demon Hunter in no turns if you just concede when you see them.
That's true. That's probably a
next level strat.
No. I don't like this. I don't like this, Dekkster. You're fueling all of Jocelyn's most the strongest opinions.
Yeah, Dekkster and I are best friends now. That's how it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think a lot of people don't like Demon Hunter, so I think it's fine if they destroy Demon Hunter. That's all right.
They have not really clicked for me, and I usually I am the first in line to get down with what I think is kind of a silly, straightforward deck to play that gets wins. Like, I'm like, cool, sign me up. I'm going to just farm wins. And I don't like playing them, and I don't really like playing against them. So
yeah,
there's been some more interesting things. Like I like the shard demon hunters that have come out, because like at least they, there's a little bit more to it. But this new aggro deck is concerning for sure.
I mean, I think Demon Hunter is great, but I think the problem is Demon Hunter is great because it's consistent and it's really good, and every other class is not. So I think if other classes could match the consistency of Demon Hunter, it'd be better. Otherwise, they need to like ruin the consistency of Demon Hunter. Just being able to cycle, constantly find what cards you need. It seems like they always top deck the right card, but that's just because there's
nothing left in their deck but that card.
yeah.
They drew their whole deck.
Yeah. So that's I think that's where nerf is due. I also think Shaman has an issue too. I don't know exactly what card in Shaman could be touched in order to kind of ruin it. It does seem like the Custodian has brought Shaman to the forefront. I think it's ran in every good Shaman deck right now.
So, yeah, I mean, the trend, it seems like now with this discussion, is consistency, right? Because that's what the Custodian brings to Shaman, is consistently finding the weapons that you need.
Yeah.
And it works in the two most popular archetypes right now, whether you're doing the new Evolve or Totem.
Right. Or Enhancement.
Oh, that's right.
That's
right.
Sorry.
Yep.
I like Enhancement.
I keep pretending that one doesn't exist. I'm sorry. I actually think it's really cool. I think it's really cool. It's just like, it's just not giant totems, and it doesn't make me giggle. So I haven't been playing it.
Well, it might make you giggle. Maybe you're not playing the right one.
Yeah.
I'm giggling. I was playing it earlier today. It's cool.
That's fair. So yeah, like, I don't know. I mean, this is a pretty overarching statement, but if you could take Shaman and Demon Hunter and make them more inconsistent, or take everyone else and make them less consistent, or make the other classes more consistent, would you rather go one direction or the other?
I'd rather everything be consistent and the game be based on skill rather than luck. And when a deck isn't consistent, sometimes you just need luck to draw the right card. Like you need you're playing Priest. You need Penance to kill this Demon Hunter, and you get it. Okay, now you win, right? I don't know. So it's just like, I don't know, the randomness. If randomness could go down, but it's hard because people like the randomness. So I understand why it's there. Getting an evolve into a rattle gore, like you're so happy, you're through the roof, right? But then if you evolve it into, what's the worst 9-drop? I don't know. Evolve it into something bad, you feel awful, but your opponent feels happy. So the randomness is good, but it's also bad.
Yeah, it's something that's come up on this show for damn near 7 years now. Is just, there's this balancing act of the RNG in Hearthstone, because it's kind of its identity, but it over the course of all of the different metas that have existed over the history of the game, there's been more RNG versus less RNG, and there always kind of seems to be this balancing act of how much or what type or what the range of the randomness is okay or is healthy or conducive to a fun play environment. And it
seems like right now we're way down the too much road. There's a big ranges on a lot of cards and a lot of classes, and yet they're still viable, which means you're seeing it a lot. So yeah, I think there's too much right now, but it creates those super fun moments. Like when you do things like spin the Yogg wheel, like that's crazy, but really fun.
Jocelyn, when are you living long enough to spin the Yogg wheel?
Well, yeah, that's the one you get to do it part.
Yeah, so just nerf Demon Hunter, and then we'll see the old gods. And I think that would make the expansion great.
I'm sorry, Joss, did you just agree that there's too much randomness, and then you said the solution would be more people getting to live to play Yogg?
Well, but like, I think like Yogg is, yes, he's random, but he's got like 5 outcomes, technically 6, but the 6th is so small that, and I wish that the 6th didn't exist, but it does. So whatever. But it's like the things that can happen are, it's like 6 things versus like get a random mage spell. Like, okay. Like the range of the mage spells is huge, right? And when you have a deck that plays like 18 of its cards that generate other random things, like that's too much, I think, because then it's like you're hardly even playing against a deck. Like you're like, okay, I'm playing against mage. That could be literally anything, regardless of how they build their deck, because they just get random on top of random on top of random, minions and spells and everything. And you're just like, how do I even plan for this? Like, how do I play my deck against a deck that's entirely random? Like, that's not fun. That's too much, too far.
You're very cheeky today, Joce.
I'm sorry.
It's almost like we're talking about the year as a whole and you're being reminded of your Demon Hunter hate.
That's it.
That's
It's
okay.
Honestly, you get me talking about Demon Hunter and I get so angry that I just can't help it. All the snark just comes right out.
I cannot wait for the day where you just join them, where you finally just have some sort of snap and I come to a new episode of The Angry Chicken. What'd you play this week, Joce? And you just go, well, I got my golden Demon Hunter portrait. I'm like, what? All right, cool.
Never.
I'm just waiting for that day.
You got to get the achievement.
No,
So-
that thing is staying at level 20 forever. You can subscribe to The Angry Chicken on all your favorite podcast apps like Spotify, Google Play, and iTunes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss another Angry Chicken video.